everyone, good evening. Habiba, welcome back to my channel. So recently we've witnessed many high-profile cases in which people have lost their lives at the hands of so-called friends. Yes, at the hands of so-called friends. And there's one trending right now in the US and all over the world of an American citizen. Some of you might know of this story. That of Shanquella Robinson, may she rest very peacefully. Very tragic, horrific, sad in every way kind of story. You know, how she went down by people who were supposedly her friends. These were not friends. These were enemies. These were enemies. Anyway, I'm not here to discuss that incident, which, there's so many people, media, YouTubers, so many people are discussing it and have shared very, very, very good insights on what happened to her. So what I am here to say tonight is, sometimes if you find yourself in a situation that can spiral out of hand quickly, if you find yourself in a situation arguing with someone and you realize the person isn't backing down, and maybe this person is particularly vicious or violent, you really need to assess what's at stake, because sometimes your life is at stake and sometimes you just need to walk away. And please note that everything I'm going to be sharing in this video, it's not necessarily in light of what happened to Shanquella Robinson. Again, may her soul rest peacefully. But it's just in light of so many stories that I've been reading right now in the news all over the world. Some of them right at home here in Canada. Many of them involving young women and, just vicious friends, enemies. Yeah, and this spirit of jealousy, this spirit of competing with people, this spirit of envy and enmity, which is sometimes very well disguised, sadly. Sometimes people disguise it so well, and they are right in your midst and you wouldn't even know. So, as I was saying earlier, sometimes you find yourself in a situation and you assess it and you realize what's at stake is your life. It could be your life. Or it could be, your peace of mind, because some people, they're particularly vicious, particularly unrelenting, And in all of this, what I want to say is, to everyone watching, know that the only reason someone would try to enter your life and steal your happiness is jealousy. That's the only that is the only reason someone would try to enter your life and steal your happiness, okay? Hopefully you're not that person. Hopefully you're not that person, because clearly those people are out there, and hopefully you're not one of them. Because if you are one of them, know that you are condemning yourself. Yeah. You are condemning yourself. You're condemning yourself. You're creating, such a heavy, dirty, murky footprint on the planet. And you don't even have to wait until the afterlife. For those of you who know about afterlife, believe in afterlife, no, your judgment will happen right here on this earth. Your judgment will happen right here in this lifetime, and then potentially again in the afterlife. Yes, that's the only reason someone would try to enter your life and steal your happiness, because they're jealous, because they're miserable, because they don't want to work on themselves. They don't want to do the inner work. They don't want to work on themselves the way you have worked on yourself, right? They don't want to work on themselves. So, you'll find they'll enter with so much provocation. They'll enter with provocation, with instigation. Sometimes you don't even know. Like I said, sometimes they're hiding, but there might be signs, or yeah, sometimes there aren't even signs. This is why, everyone, you have to try as much as possible to raise your vibe, to lift your vibration, to be prayerful, to be meditative. This is the time, this is the season to be very prayerful, to be very meditative, right? To try as much as possible to lift your vibe, to be discerning, to train yourself to be discerning, to ask if you're into that, like spirituality, religion, whatever you might be into. I don't know who's what, but whatever you might be into. You can ask for discernment. If you're Muslim, we know Allah is Basir. Beautiful name. Say, Allah, grant me Basira. Grant me Hidayah. Ask Allah for this discernment. Invoke Allah. Invoke Allah's character, this character of discernment. When you pray, when you make your dua, really, it's the time you need to be invoking it all the time, right? So you can see, so you'll be shown things, so you'll get a sense, yeah. Because some people, as a friend of mine said to me the other day, some people, they will always have a tornado going in their lives, huh? They will always have a tornado going in there, or they'll always have like a tornado around them because they're not at peace. They're not at peace. Their spirit is not at peace. Their spirit could be at peace, but like I said, they don't want to seek the peace. So they see what appears to be peace in your life and they want to come after you. And sometimes they can come after you with such viciousness and you haven't done anything to them. You haven't done anything to them, but just your mere existence irritates them, right? Your mere existence, your mere presence irritates them. Okay, now this is not the kind of person you want around you, but sometimes they can try to come around you. Again, if you know prayer, if you know spirituality, this is where you can pray to have them blocked so they can't even see you. They don't even see you. They don't even recognize you, right? Yeah. And hopefully with time, if you've had some of those experiences with those kind of people, hopefully with time, you just won't have them, because hopefully with time you'll be so trained you can spot them from a mile away so they can't even get close. Okay? Yeah. And what I've realized throughout my own young life, because I had some experiences. I had some experiences. Okay, anyway, I don't want to get into maybe another time. I'm not into the story times and all that so much, but I could share. There's a lot I could share. Wow. But anyway, I had some experiences, and what I realized, and alhamdulillah, I thank God I've had this realization now that I've had this realization now. Let me just say that. Is that evil, sometimes evil, it's not this kind of cryptic, mystical force that's gonna arrive from outer space. Sometimes it's in the people and the environments right around you, okay? And if you're into religion and this kind of stuff, God, and then the you-know-who, that person, or that entity, which, anyway, the opposite, right? You know who I'm talking about. Perhaps growing up, you understood it to be like a person, or like, how should I say, like a certain entity, like a singular entity. But understand that person, right? This DE and then ending in IL, or that entity, okay, it manifests in people, yeah. It manifests in people, like it expresses in people. Sometimes that force penetrates people. Same way the godly force penetrates people, and then some people, they're just so lovely, so kind, so pure, so you just want to be around them because it's just like sheer goodness around them, okay? So sometimes the opposite, it is able to penetrate people because they're weak. They're like a weak link. They're like empty. So like they're just waiting to be occupied, if you get what I'm saying. They're just like, their spirit is just waiting to be occupied. And there's so many evil spirits ready to occupy them. And then you see them walking in the flesh. You see them walking up and down as human beings. Maybe even know their name, that person from this place, this person you know from there, this person on the street, this person you've interacted with here. But they're so empty. They're like an empty vessel. So it was nothing for that evil spirit to penetrate them, if you get what I'm saying, okay? If you know what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying. So you need to know how you're moving. You need to watch how you're moving. And you need to know where you're moving, around which people, which situations, which environments are you putting yourself in. Okay? And in all honesty, everyone watching this, certain places and certain environments will just put you into that. Look, nightclubs and bars, and look at the fights that break out, and because the energy is just so many entities there. It's late night, it's all kinds of spirits. Even what people are consuming there. Is it a mystery that they call it spirits? That what they consume, that stuff, that sometimes it's referred to as spirits. Think about that. Just think about that, okay? But now, when you're in certain environments, okay, certain environments, they're like a portal. They're like and that's why some people stay away from certain environments, right? Or that's why some people, through the book they follow, right? Or through God, whom they know to stay away from certain places, certain environments. They've been instructed to. They've been given a guideline. They've been given a guideline. They've been given guidelines. And these guidelines, what do these guidelines do sometimes? Protect them from certain, where the likelihood of certain entities being are just higher. Okay, so that's just one thing, perhaps one. But as we know, sometimes they show up. You don't have to be going to certain places. Sometimes they show up, and they might even call themselves your friends. So this is where the whole discernment piece comes in. Because, some of these stories, like I said, that have been coming up in the news so much lately, like so much. Oh my God, it's so sad, right? So sad, so shocking, so frightening. But the thing is, you have to know this is the reality. So then once you know, you can move with awareness, you can move with discernment. And if you see certain things in people, then you just say, you act accordingly. Maybe you act cautiously. Maybe you don't let them roll up in your life, in certain ways. Of course, every situation is nuanced and calls for like a specific assessment. So I can't in this video say, because again, every situation is unique, and but generally speaking, what I'm saying is this is where the whole discernment piece and the awareness piece and all of that. And be mindful of who you call your friends, huh? I've learned this the hard way. Yeah, I've learned this the hard way over the past couple of years. And I'm not hard on myself. I'm not upset or angry. I was, in that time. But I realized, perhaps just certain lessons I needed to learn. But be very careful of who you call your friends. And just be mindful. Don't be paranoid and don't be suspecting everyone and all that kind of thing. But just move with awareness, move with discernment. Yeah, and be mindful of people who try to steal your happiness, who try to steal your joy. People who want what is yours. They want what is yours. And you say, but what? We're two different people, two different journeys, two different, each of us blessed in our own way. Each of us with our own blessings. Some people, they're so blind. They're so blind. They're so envious. They can't see their own blessing. They're so ungrateful. So ungrateful to the Most High, right? Because to be living and breathing, this is a blessing. This is something you give thanks for. They're so ungrateful. They see what appears to be happiness in your life. They don't even know your life, really, because they don't know your inner, what goes on, your struggles, your sorrows. They don't know. But they just see what appears to be happiness in your life. And they want it because they're so ungrateful and they don't even know their own blessing and they're so wretched, right? And some of them, they can't stop themselves because it is as if a JINN spirit has entered them, and sometimes that's what's happened. They can't stop themselves, so they just keep, they come for what is yours. They come for what is yours. Wow. Yeah, because they're so wretched and ungrateful like that. Yeah, that's it. And they don't want to do the work, like I was saying. They don't want to do the work on themselves, okay? So move with discernment, move with awareness. Yeah, I'm very aggrieved to see so many of these stories in the news, right? Yeah, yeah. Okay, maybe more for another video, but yeah. Okay, enjoy, subscribe, talk to you another time. Bye.